The relentless Texas floods have left entire communities shattered, with homes swallowed by rising waters and families torn apart. But it's the searchers, the brave men and women wading through the wreckage, searching the murky depths for the missing that are now bearing the heaviest burden. The mission is simple: find the missing, save the lost. But for these heroes, the weight of their task is impossible to ignore. Every step they take, every piece of debris they push aside, brings them closer to an emotional toll that no one could ever prepare for. The search isn't just for adults, it's for children, little ones who were swept away in the chaos. And as each hour passes, the stakes grow higher. The faces of parents pleading for their children haunt the search teams as they move through the disaster zone. With each body they find, they are forced to grapple with the quiet, gut-wrenching realization: these aren't just victims, they're someone's child, someone's sibling, someone's world. The searchers, hardened by years of experience, aren't immune to the devastation. They wear their exhaustion like armor, but beneath the surface, the weight is heavy. The tension is palpable as they trudge through flooded streets, the knowledge that they might never find some of those they're looking for sinking in like a stone. It's not just the floodwaters that are rising, it's the emotional toll of this unthinkable tragedy, taking its toll on every single person involved. In the aftermath of this catastrophe, the real question remains: how much can one person endure before they break? The search for the missing is just beginning, but the scars from this mission will last forever. As the days blur into one another, the search for survivors in Texas grows more desperate. The floodwaters have receded in some areas, but the damage is irreversible. Entire towns are left unrecognizable, homes reduced to debris, vehicles turned upside down, and landmarks swallowed whole by the water. Rescue teams, volunteer searchers, and even local residents have joined forces, scouring every inch of flooded territory, but the odds are stacked against them. The longer the search continues, the more the hope of finding survivors fades. The terrain is treacherous, muddy, unstable, and often impassable. Search teams push through wreckage and debris-filled streets, never knowing what lies ahead. What could have been a simple search now feels like a haunting treasure hunt with no map, no certainty, and no comfort. The overwhelming silence is deafening. There are no calls for help, no cries of distress, just the sickening realization that the odds of finding the missing children, the elderly, and the loved ones trapped in the floodwaters are shrinking with each passing moment. Every decision is a gamble. Should they keep going in the same area, or shift their focus elsewhere, hoping to find another pocket of survivors? Every hour is a race against the inevitable: more bodies being claimed by the waters, more lives slipping through the cracks of the search effort. The searchers themselves begin to feel the emotional weight of the task. What happens if they don't find those they're looking for? How do they live with the knowledge that they may never uncover the truth about some of these disappearances? But there's no time to stop. The storm has passed, but the emotional storm is just beginning to rise. The search is far from over, and the toll on those who are looking for answers grows more unbearable with each step. As the search efforts drag on, the emotional toll becomes more apparent with each passing hour. For the searchers, this isn't just a job, it's a personal, heart-wrenching responsibility that digs deep into their souls. They aren't just looking for the missing, they're searching for the living among the dead, clinging to the hope that they will find something, anything that will offer a glimmer of hope in the midst of unspeakable loss. One searcher, a seasoned veteran who's worked through disasters before, says it best: it's different when it's kids. You know they were scared. You know they were alone. You know someone had to watch them go. And you just wonder, did they suffer? Did anyone hear them? It's unbearable. This sentiment echoes the deepest fears of the teams. The flood didn't just steal lives, it stole futures. It stole memories. And it stole moments that could never be relived. The silence of the search zone is deafening. The air is heavy with anticipation, but also grief. As teams sift through the wreckage, they hold their breath at every turn, hoping the next person they find will still be alive. When a body is recovered, there's no cheering, no feeling of triumph, just solemn quiet. They know that they've done everything they could, but there's always the thought, could we have saved one more? For the parents, the agony of waiting has been nothing short of hellish. They cling to any shred of hope, any flicker of light. They stand near the search teams, their eyes scanning the flooded streets, hoping against hope that their child will be pulled from the debris. Their pain is visceral, raw, and it cuts through the search teams like a knife. The faces of these parents stay with the searchers, haunting their every move. They cannot forget the looks of desperation and heartbreak, and that weight drives them forward, even when the physical and emotional exhaustion threatens to overtake them. Searchers have no time for mourning, no time to process the emotions that come with encountering the victims. They have learned to compartmentalize, to block out the horror, but it isn't easy. One volunteer, a local firefighter, admits, "I saw a little girl's shoes floating in the water. The soles were still pristine. It broke me. I don't think I'll ever forget that." The image of those shoes, so innocent and untouched by the chaos around them, haunts him. The emotional scars these searchers carry will be long-lasting, and some will never be able to shake the trauma of what they saw. Even as the rescue efforts intensify, a somber reality settles in. Many of the victims may never be found, or worse, they may have already been claimed by the floods. The longer the search continues, the more those involved begin to wonder if there's any real hope left. The children they're looking for, once full of life, full of promise, may now just be another number, another statistic in a long line of tragedy. But for the searchers, each number represents a personal life worth saving, a family forever altered by the storm. The emotional weight of the search is not something that can be easily understood by anyone outside the disaster zone. It isn't just a job, it's a journey into the heart of darkness, a battle between hope and despair. For every missing child they find, another part of their own humanity is chipped away. They keep pushing forward, driven by the fear of failure, the need for closure, and the hope that they can bring just one more person home. But with each recovery, each heartbreaking moment, the question remains, how much longer can they endure the emotional toll before they break? The turning point comes on the third day of the search, when a local team of volunteers stumbles across an area that had been previously overlooked, a submerged playground. Its swings still swaying faintly in the water, a chilling reminder of the innocence lost in this tragedy. The searchers, armed with nothing but their instincts and a sense of duty, cautiously enter the water, knowing that time is running out. The area was once a haven for families, a place where laughter filled the air. Now, it stands eerily silent, a ghost of what it once was. As they push further into the debris-filled landscape, one of the volunteers, a father himself, spots something that sends a chill through the group. A child stuffed bear, its fur sodden and matted with dirt. It's an ordinary object, but in this moment, it becomes a symbol of everything lost in the flood. The volunteer picks it up gently, his hands trembling, the emotional weight of the moment too much to bear. A single tear slides down his cheek as he grips the toy, knowing that this is the turning point. This is the moment when their mission becomes about more than just finding survivors. It becomes about recovery, about closure, and about the quiet, painful duty of returning lost children to their families, even in death. The group takes a deep breath and begins their search in earnest. The feeling of dread looms over them. Each movement they make seems to weigh them down, as if the water itself is trying to pull them under. But they press forward, one step at a time. They know the agony the parents are feeling, and it pushes them to search harder, to dig deeper. This isn't just a search, it's a race against time, a race to give the families answers, even if those answers may not be the ones they had hoped for. Then, the unthinkable happens. As they begin to lift a pile of debris, a small hand, a lifeless hand, emerges from the muck. A gasp ripples through the group. It's a child, a little girl, no more than 6 or 7, her face pale and cold from exposure, her body still dressed in the same clothes she wore the day the floodwaters overtook her home. Her eyes are closed, her body still, but her tiny hand, still grasping the remains of a broken doll, sends an electric shock of grief and horror through the searchers. It's the image that will forever remain burned into their minds, the innocence lost in the chaos of nature's wrath. The discovery of the child marks the true turning point in the search. Up until this moment, there had been a glimmer of hope. that they might find someone alive, someone to save. But now, that hope is fading. They are no longer just searchers looking for the missing, they are witnesses to the raw, heart-wrenching aftermath of the flood. The emotional toll on each individual becomes undeniable. The volunteers exchange looks, eyes filled with sorrow and weariness. The relief of finding a victim, however tragic, is quickly overshadowed by the overwhelming grief of knowing that this is not the end, it's just one of many. The child's body is carefully retrieved, but the emotional weight of that moment hits every person in the group like a tidal wave. There's no celebration, no sense of victory, just the quiet realization that the search has taken on a deeper, more painful meaning. As the body is removed from the water, the faces of the searchers reveal what no words could ever capture: a profound sense of loss, a burning desire to protect the innocent, and a shared understanding that this is just the beginning of a long, painful journey for everyone involved. For the searchers, the turning point is not just about finding the lost, it's about confronting the harsh reality that not all will be found alive, and that the search will continue, not only for the bodies, but for the healing that will come if it ever does. As the hours drag into days, the sense of urgency among the search teams begins to feel suffocating. The floodwaters may have receded in some areas, but the aftermath is far from over. There is still so much to search, so much to recover, and with each hour that passes, the likelihood of finding survivors grows slimmer. The air is thick with tension. The search teams have pushed beyond their physical and emotional limits, yet the toll on their spirits is undeniable. They know what's at stake, but with every turn, the mounting pressure threatens to break them. The decision is made to expand the search area. What was once a concentrated effort to comb through neighborhoods now spreads to abandoned buildings, submerged parks, and unreachable terrain. It's a race against the clock. Each minute feels heavier than the last, as if time itself is mocking them. They move with urgency, but even their speed seems futile against the scope of the disaster. The flood has taken so much. Every inch of ground recovered feels like a small victory, but it's never enough. The team's exhaustion is palpable. Every step is heavy, every motion slow. They don't have time for rest. There's no time to mourn. The emotional toll is starting to show. The relentless nature of the search, the sleepless nights, and the constant confrontation with devastation are taking their toll on everyone involved. For the first time since the search began, the mood shifts from hope to despair. The searchers, who had once been filled with determination, now begin to doubt themselves. Could they have missed something? Was there another area they should have checked? Did they overlook a family that was waiting to be rescued? Every decision is fraught with anxiety. Should they split up and cover more ground? Or should they stay together in the hopes of finding something more? One volunteer, a young woman who had joined the effort to help with her community, confesses that she can't help but feel as though the floodwaters have stolen not only lives, but the very essence of hope. She says, "Every time I think we're getting closer to something, realize we're only moving further into the depths of grief. The waters swallowed everything, and I feel like we're drowning in it too." The question of whether or not they'll find anyone alive looms like a shadow over the team. They know that with each body they find, it means another family is broken, another story of loss is added to the endless list. Yet, there's a paradoxical feeling of needing to keep going, of needing to find at least one more person, one more shred of hope to cling to. The searchers begin to break down in ways they hadn't before. A seasoned veteran who had faced floods and hurricanes in the past goes quiet for the first time since the operation began. His normally steady hands tremble as he picks up a child's backpack from the water's edge, empty, but soaked through. It's another reminder that the flood didn't just take away lives, it took away futures, dreams, and the simple joys of everyday life. And then, as if to amplify the crushing weight of it all, a searcher finds a family photo clinging to a shattered frame, waterlogged but still intact. It's a picture of a smiling mother, father, and their two children. The photo, so full of life, stands in stark contrast to the scene surrounding them: destruction, chaos, and a desperate scramble for survival. This discovery, simple yet profound, sends ripples of grief through the team. This photo is a reminder of everything they've lost and everything they're fighting for. With every step, every discovery, the tension builds, making it feel like the walls are closing in. The stakes are higher than ever, but so is the emotional cost. The searchers are no longer just battling the elements. They are fighting against their own inner turmoil, struggling to stay strong while being pulled deeper into the tragedy. As they continue the search, the question lingers in their minds: how much more can they take before the weight of it all finally breaks them? As the search nears its breaking point, the emotional and physical exhaustion of the searchers becomes impossible to ignore. The tension is suffocating. Every discovery, every body pulled from the water, chips away at their resolve. But they press on, driven by a sliver of hope that maybe, just maybe, they will find someone alive. As the sun begins to set on the fourth day, the team stumbles upon a new area, an old, partially submerged farmhouse. The searchers hesitate for a moment, knowing that whatever lies within could be the final piece to the puzzle. But just as they begin to enter the house, a faint sound echoes through the air, soft, distant, almost imperceptible. A cry, a voice. It's the sound of something or someone still alive, still clinging to life amid the wreckage. The searchers freeze, hearts pounding in their chests. Was it a survivor, or just the wind playing tricks on them? They stand there, immobilized by the possibility of finding someone who could turn this tragedy into a story of survival. But as the cry grows fainter, the team's hopes begin to unravel. They scramble to pinpoint the source, pushing forward into the house, but the silence quickly returns. The water has hidden so much it's impossible to know for sure if they've heard a voice or if it was just a fleeting moment of desperation. And as they search deeper, something else emerges, a shadow in the water, something moving where it shouldn't be. The team is torn between rushing forward to see if it's another victim or pulling back, knowing the emotional toll it may carry. The air thickens, the fear settling over them like a dark cloud. What awaits them at the farmhouse could either shatter what little hope remains or provide them with the answers they so desperately need. The question hangs in the air: is it too late to find another survivor, or will the haunting silence drown out what little hope they have left? Please subscribe, like, share, and drop a comment below.